Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. In today's video, we're going to be talking about queer plus-size romances. I had a question in a Discord that I'm a part of about recommendations for queer plus-size romances, and a lot of people were struggling to come up with titles, and I of course went to my Goodreads list because I tag stuff like this for things that I thought had good fat representation and were queer, and I have a list of 12 books, so I thought, you know what, let's throw them together into a video because there might be other people who are also on the lookout for great romance options with fat representation and queer representation. So here are my 12 suggestions for you if that's what you're looking for. I am going to say there's a lot of variation in these in terms of whether they are steamy, not steamy, YA, adult, novellas, full-length novels. It's a little bit of a mix of everything, so I will let you know details as we go, and they're in no particular order. First, I've got some novellas by indie authors, although one of them has been picked up for traditional publication, so we'll talk about that. But if you haven't tried Georgina Kirsten, they're a Black transmasc non-binary author who writes romance under a few different names. Under Georgina Kirsten, they've been writing kind of cozy romance novellas that are queer, and I've read 2 of them. I will say their latest one in terms of editing quality is a little bit better than the earlier one, but I think they're both really cute stories and worth reading. The earlier one is Fall Into You. This is a very short autumnal sapphic romance novella featuring a plus-size Black heroine and the girl that she falls for over a pretty short period of time. I will say about this, if you're not a big Insta-Love fan and you need a little time for people to get together, this might feel a little bit quick to you, but I thought it was really cute and cozy, perfect for heading into fall, so I would recommend that. And then their latest novella I absolutely love. Read recently, this is More to Love. This is a male-male romance between a fat Korean man and a queer Black man. They have a bookstore meet cute, which I'm always a fan of. The Black guy runs the bookstore, the Korean guy likes reading romance, and they meet at the bookstore and they have this like sweet and steamy romance that develops. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think it's fantastic, definitely worth a read. Both of them are both very queer and also quite body positive. Next up is That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. This entire series honestly is a blast, and they feature Black heroines in these kind of tongue-in-cheek paranormal romances. I just think they're very entertaining if you like something that's super campy and over the top, that's not taking itself too seriously, but is fun. These are a good time. They got so popular that they're getting picked up for traditional publication, I think by Sourcebooks, so if you're interested in picking up a traditional copy, you'll be able to do that really soon. But this one does feature a plus-size heroine, and I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember what the queer representation in this one was. I want to say that one or both of them was bisexual. I think that's right. Let me check. Okay, yeah, so here's what I said in my review. It's got irreverent, tongue-in-cheek humor, and in this one we're getting a lactose-intolerant bisexual werewolf with a plus-size heroine, and villains that turn out to be the ye fantasy version of an incel cult. So that was very entertaining. I think these books are a blast. I liked this one a lot, and don't let people tell you that your bisexuality doesn't count if you're in a straight passing relationship, because that has nothing to do with your sexuality. Next up is Season of Love by Helena Greer. This is a really cute and serious, it's a mix. It's cute and fun at times, and kind of serious and dealing with trauma at other times. Holiday romance. So this one follows a queer Jewish woman whose grandmother, I think, or great aunt, some kind of older family member, passes away and leaves her a partial interest in the Christmas tree farm that she owned, and so she goes up there and ends up clashing with the Christmas tree farm manager, who is our other heroine. She's tall and fat and kind of a butch lesbian, and they gripe at each other a bit, but then eventually end up falling in love. This one does deal with, again, some trauma issues, so it does get serious at times, but overall I really enjoyed it, and I think heading into holiday season, this is a good pick. Then for another holiday romance, we have A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Both of them individually have also written a lot of other romances about plus-size characters, and I do have another book on here from Sierra Simone that I'll mention that works for this prompt as well. But this one features a plus-size heroine who is an adult entertainer who accidentally gets cast in this family-friendly Christmas movie. And then it turns out that her co-star is like secretly a fan of the book version of OnlyFans account, and is trying to act like he doesn't know who she is. It's funny and over the top and campy and pretty steamy. So if you're looking for that, I think it's really fun. He's super into her. Again, it's very body positive and quite sexy. I think she is bisexual. I don't remember if he is. Let me see. I probably put it in my book review because I do that. Oh yeah. Yep, they're both bisexual. A fun romantic comedy with two disaster bisexuals falling in love. Very steamy, absurdly wacky at times. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So if that sounds appealing to you and you want two bisexual protagonists, go check out this one. The other Sierra Simone that I have on here is, okay, I'm suggesting this with a caveat that this book is not going to be for everybody, and at least at the point that I read it, I had very mixed feelings about this book, so, you know, check information, content warnings. I always review books that I read on Goodreads, and my Goodreads is linked down below. All the books that I'm talking about in this video are books that I have personally read, if you want to see my thoughts. But this one is A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. It's kind of a polyamorous romance with BDSM elements. It's not, I don't know if I want to call it polyamorous, but there are group sex things that happen in the book. And I think pretty much all the characters in the book are queer. One of them is plus size. And yeah, this one is a trip. So it follows a group of childhood friends who return to this manor for reasons. I don't know if they were all friends or two of them were friends. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read it, but it's super messy and dramatic and very steamy and not going to be for everyone. But if that piques your interest, go forth and check it out. Then for something a little more tame, you could read The Perks of Loving a Wallflower by Erica Ridley. Just ignore the cover. It's a beautiful cover, but it's not an accurate description of either of the main characters in this. It's a queer historical romance between a nerdy, plus-size, blonde bombshell and the non-binary love interest that she falls for. The choice was made because of the time period to use she, her pronouns for the non-binary character, but it is pretty clear, we get to know through the course of the story, that she is at the very least gender fluid, and we see some of that play out. This is fun. It's very rompy. I loved it. I think it has a lot of great banter. It's a bit of a slow burn romance, so if you're into a slow burn historical, I'm gonna suggest this one. I feel like I suggest this in a lot of videos, but it's good. I liked it. Then for a couple of YA romances, we have I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This is really cute. It follows a plus-size bisexual Korean girl who goes on a dancing show and is dealing with a lot of fat phobia and ends up falling for a guy who is one of the co-stars on the show. I really liked this a lot. I think it's a fantastic YA slow burn romance. It's really cute. It tackles fat phobia in a way that's really smart and does a lot of educating, and ultimately ends up being really body positive. I thought it was fantastic. If you haven't read this, I think it's a good one. Then if you want something really short and sweet, Witchlight by Jessie Zabarski is this cute fantasy graphic novel that features a romance between two kind of opposites attract characters, one of whom is fat, and it was just really cute. It was short and sweet and charming, and I remember liking it quite a bit, so if you want to try picking up a graphic novel, this could be a good option for you. Next up is Electric Idol by Katie Robert, and to be honest, I think there are some other books as well in the Dark Olympus series that have fat heroines, which I think is great. Maybe we're getting a fat hero in one of the upcoming books. I think we had one. Anyway, but Electric Idol is book 2, and in this one again we have two bisexual main characters. The heroine is fat and they fall in love. Later on in the series we have, like, basically this is what the thing. Katie Robert Unless otherwise specified, you can just assume that any character in their books is queer, because pretty much they're all queer. So very much queer norm society, and there are quite a few plus size protagonists in their books. So I would recommend this one, but also you could read on in the series, and there's a lot of just great representation. Quite steamy books that are a little bit edgier than some of your typical mainstream romance bestsellers, but I think they do consent really well and I like their books. I will say that they have a specific tone and authorial voice that may not work for everyone, so try out their books and see how you do. Two more suggestions. One of them is YA. That is Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. This is the second book in a YA series with royal romances, and this one is sapphic. The main character is a bisexual American who goes to a study abroad program, I think, or a boarding school thing in England, and ends up having this enemies to lovers romance with her roommate, who turns out to be royal. So I like it as kind of a rivals or enemies to lovers story, and it was a lot of fun. If you like a royal romance, this is a great option. And my final recommendation, and one that since I had it right next to me I pulled out for you, I'm gonna suggest Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. I love this. The entire series is great. All three of the Brown sisters are fat, but this one also has a bisexual heroine and a fat hero. So we get some queer representation, we get two fat protagonists, and I just thought this was really sweet. It's got banter. It also sort of flips the gendered expectations. He is this total cinnamon roll and he's into reading romance novels, and she thinks that she doesn't want to settle down and have a long-term relationship, but they end up doing a fake dating thing for reasons. I loved it. This was delightful. So if you haven't read it yet, highly recommend. So there you go, 12 recommendations of queer romances with good fat representation. If you were looking for plus size characters in your queer romance, I know this is a little bit niche, but it's something that I like, and I know there are probably some of y'all who are also looking for this. You're welcome. Hope this helps your reading. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on anything I mentioned in this video. And for your question of the day, no big surprise here, recommend to me other books that you think would fit this prompt. Books with good plus size representation that also feature queer characters, main characters. Let me know in the comments down below so we can add to the list. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.